Hi guys, thank you for tuning in. My name is Maritza and I'm going to be doing the workshop today. I'm going to give some others a little bit more time to join us. And while I do that, I wanted to acknowledge some of the people who shared their work with us for the past week. We saw a lot of awesome work from the past workshops we did. Aylin and Sean shared their postcards and storytelling cards, which were awesome. And we especially loved how accurate Aylin's coronavirus card was. Hi, Ezra and Audra. Awesome, okay. Actually, we wanted to give Ezra and Audra a shout out too because we saw some of your storytelling cards. You guys did the Minecraft cards, I believe, which were awesome. Okay, who else? I believe... we also saw that a lot of you guys incorporated some of the time periods that we talked about in Postcards to the Past in your storytelling cards. A lot of you guys did a lot of different time periods and genres like pirate ships, saloons, and mysterious sorcerers, which was awesome. We would love to see more of your work, especially from this one because you guys are going to get creative in the next workshop. So please keep sharing. Okay. Welcome. I see so many people. Thank you for joining. Okay. I think now that a few more people have joined, we can officially start. So let me formally introduce myself. As I said before, my name is Maritza, or Miss Maritza. Some of you may recognize me from the in-school program Spells Writing Lab did this school year. I am a sophomore at Drexel University, and I'm coming to the end of my 6-month internship with Spells Writing Lab. Miss Liz, Miss Nicole, who is the other Drexel University student working at Spells, and I have been developing these online programs for you guys, and we hope you're enjoying them. For this workshop, you are going to need something to draw with, preferably colored pencils or crayons because markers will bleed through the paper. Something to write with. I recommend pencils that you can erase and make sure your answers are as perfect as you want them to be. And the printed handout, which looks like this. For those of you who have not printed out the handout yet, make sure you print double-sided and flip over long edge so the brochure, sorry, the lighting is bad, so the brochure prints correctly. In the handout are instructions, and on the back are tips how to use persuasive language in your travel brochure and tips on how to fold when you're done. And the second page is the travel brochure that we created for you guys. If it's printed correctly, it should look like this. If you're not able to print at home, you can look at the brochure in the PDF and use some of your own paper to recreate it. Just 8x11, normal piece of paper is fine. And just make sure that you answer the questions that we asked on the brochure and make sure you leave room to draw because we want to see all the things that your planet has to offer. So let's get started. While on a space mission for Dr. Spells, our founder, you discovered a new planet. Now your mission is to describe this new planet and create a travel brochure to encourage space tourists to visit. A travel brochure is a pamphlet that uses persuasive language and advertising techniques, which we will talk more about later, to get people to want to visit a specific place. So in travel brochures, you highlight all the really fun and cool stuff that you can do there and explain why people should take the time to come visit. You might mention historical sites, famous food, popular activities, museums, and more. For example, if I were making a travel brochure for Philadelphia, what tourist attractions would make people want to visit the city? Maybe I could include things like the Liberty Bell or the Rocky Steps, the Betsy Ross House or Philly cheesesteaks. But I don't want to just list them. I want to show just how awesome those attractions are and that they're worth the time and expense of traveling to Philadelphia. So instead of just listing them, I could use persuasive language like run up the Rocky Steps like a champ or travel back in time with Betsy Ross as you ring in the revolution in Old City. But before you get started on the travel brochure template, let's brainstorm about the planet you discovered. Since you're the only human who has visited this planet, you get to use your creativity to answer the questions about it. On the first page of the instructions that you have printed out, there are a few questions to spark some inspiration. Oh, can you guys, hold on, let me flip the camera so that you guys can see. Oh. Okay, it's not working, sorry. Okay, so on the first page of instructions, I'm sorry if it's backwards, but you have a couple of questions down here about creating your own planet. So there's space underneath these questions to answer them if you get any ideas or inspiration while I'm going through them. The questions that I'm about to go through are the same questions that are on here, so don't worry about not remembering them. They're all right here. You can also wait and answer the questions after the live if you prefer. So here are some things to think about. Number 1, does your planet have a theme? You could have a candy planet where everything is made out of candy, or a planet where cats are in charge and humans are their servants, or a rainbow planet where everyone lives on clouds. Number 2, what's unique about your planet? What does it have that other planets don't have? So for the candy planet, you could mention fudge rivers or cotton candy clouds. Number 3, what kind of inhabitants live on your planet? Are they human-like? Are they weird-looking? Are they plants? For those of you who have seen Star Wars, there are humans who live among robots and creatures who don't look human, just like they did in Star Wars. You should come up with people or creatures that live on your planet and why only they live on your planet. So, for example, you could say that cats, mice, and humans make up the majority of the population on the cat planet. Number 4, where do inhabitants live on your planet? What are their houses or shelters made of? Do they live underwater in houses of gold or underground? So for the cat planet, again, their houses could be giant cat gyms or cat trees, whatever you guys call them, and maybe humans sleep at the end of the cat's beds. Number 5, what kind of animals or creatures does your planet have and how are they unique? Think about your planet's theme and what creatures would fit into that theme. So, for example, if your planet is made entirely of candy, maybe your bears, worms, and frogs are all gummy candies come to life. And maybe nerds' ropes hang from chocolate trees and they're chocolate monkeys eating those little banana candies. Number 6, what would people do for fun on your planet and what attractions do people visit? So you could have zero-gravity waterfalls, ice volcanoes, riding exotic animals that only live on your planet. So for the rainbow planet, maybe it could offer giant rainbow slides and other fun rainbow activities. It may take a while to describe your planet, so it's okay if you aren't ready to move on yet, but I want to explain the next part of the activity while I'm live so I can answer any questions that you guys have. Whenever you're finished describing your planet, next you're going to start on the travel brochure template. As I mentioned earlier, you don't want to just list your attractions. You want to use persuasive language when you answer the questions on the travel brochure. One of the most important things about writing a travel brochure is to give students information about your planet in a way that convinces people to visit, like a commercial or a magazine ad. And to do that effectively, we're going to use persuasive language. Persuasive language is catchy, memorable, and could create an effect on your interests, which is perfect when you're trying to get people to buy something or visit somewhere. So persuasive language is used in advertising all the time. I'm sure you've heard the advertising slogan, "Skittles taste the rainbow." It's short, catchy, easy to remember, sounds like an adventure, and it immediately lets you know that there are candies with a bunch of different colors and different flavors. Taste the rainbow is telling you to try their candy. That's called a call to action because they're telling you to try their product. Advertisers use call to action in advertising all the time, and you should use it in your brochures. In the travel brochure, you are advertising this new planet. So just how advertisers use persuasive language to sell products like Skittles, you are using persuasive language to sell a vacation on your planet. For example, I created Waterworld. My planet is entirely underwater, and all of the inhabitants live in underwater cities among fish and other ocean life. So when I was creating my travel brochure, I answered the questions like I was selling Waterworld to potential visitors. This is the start of my brochure, and under the headline you can see that under Welcome to Exciting, I wrote Waterworld. Then under the first question here, what makes your planet unique, I wrote, do you love ocean life and swimming? Then you'll love a visit to Waterworld's famous underwater cities. Visit the only planet in the galaxy that is totally underwater where you can swim with sharks and frolic with fish. And underneath here I drew a space view of my planet, which you can do, or you can draw landscapes or whatever you want. Also up here you can see that I made my planet name a little more jazzy so that it catches attention. So in that first question that I answered, there are some persuasive techniques that I used in my answer that you should also use in yours. The first technique is a call to action. Visit the only planet in the galaxy that is totally underwater is a call to action because I'm telling tourists to visit my planet. So just like the Skittles slogan that tells you to try their candy, tell people to try out a vacation to your planet. The second technique is wordplay. Swim with sharks and frolic with fish is a kind of wordplay or figurative language called an alliteration, which is when you use words that start with the same letters or sound to grab a reader's attention. Feel free to use those kinds of wordplay like similes or metaphors in your brochures. The third technique is talking directly to your reader. I ask my readers questions like, do you love ocean life and swimming? By asking direct questions in your travel brochure, you're more likely to get visitors because it seems to the reader like you're engaging with them directly. For the you gotta see this section of the brochure, which is on the inside, you can see that I haven't filled it out yet, but I have an idea for my first attraction, and I want it to be exploring caves with octopuses. So octopuses are very flexible and can squeeze themselves into tight places, so they would probably know all the secret caves that the bigger animals don't know about. They could be tour guides and show visitors around underwater caves they never knew existed before. So think about how you can use some of the persuasive techniques that we just talked about to make that attraction sound really appealing to tourists, and use that same thinking to come up with great ways to advertise your attractions and activities with persuasive language. Answer the rest of the questions in a way that will appeal to any tourists considering a visit to your planet. Give them enough information and enthusiasm to convince them that your planet is the best place for the next vacation. Okay, I see a question. What do we need to do? Need to do this project. Okay, so the PDF that we provided is 2 pages. The first page is instructions. The second page is a template, a travel brochure template. That's what you need. And you need a pencil and something to draw with. And as I said before, preferably colored pencils or crayons because markers can bleed through the paper and that will ruin your travel brochure. So you want to answer the questions using persuasive language to appeal to tourists, and give them enough information and enthusiasm to convince them that your planet is the best place for their next vacation. So, as you can see, we left space in your brochure for you to draw pictures of what your planet looks like I did on my first page, its main attractions. So for my octopus cave diving, I could draw an octopus right here if I wanted. And your food and your inhabitants on the back if you want to draw what a normal inhabitant looks like on your planet. Make sure you draw detailed pictures because that will make people want to visit. Once you've answered your questions and drawn your pictures, it's time to fold. I already folded mine, but here is a blank copy of the template. And to fold correctly, you want to have you gotta see this page, which is right here at the top, facing up. It's a tri-fold brochure, so at the top of the page, make folds in between the 3 black lines that I'm pointing to right now that separate the 3 sections of your brochure. So take the section with your 3rd attraction and fold it over. And then take the section with your 1st attraction and fold it over. So if you folded it correctly, the front of the brochure should say, "Welcome to Exciting," and if you flip it over, it should say, "Discover Our Past." There are also instructions on how to fold correctly with little pictures in the instruction manual, since you guys are obviously not ready to fold yet. So by the time your travel brochure is done, you will have described a planet you discovered and learned how to use persuasive writing techniques to convince people to visit your planet. Do you guys have any questions? No? No questions? Okay. Once you've finished your brochure, you can share it with your family or your friends on social media and see if they would be interested in visiting your planet. Don't forget to share with us in the comments of our Facebook post designated for student work, or tag us on Instagram at Spells Writing Lab. We are so excited to see what you come up with, and Dr. Spells is very excited to see all of his new vacation options for this summer. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you at 11 a.m. on Thursday for our next workshop, Backyard Animal Explorers, which is a fun animal-themed workshop that combines science and creativity. I'm just going to wait a few more minutes to see if there are any questions that I missed, and then I'll sign off. Thank you for tuning in, Gregory. Okay. The live will also be posted to our page, so you can come and check it out later if you want. And you can and you can ask questions there, and there will be a separate post to post your work if you guys want to share your travel brochures with us. Okay, since there are no questions, I think I'm going to end it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for bearing with me. It was my first live. Okay, see you on Thursday.